All right, guys, today's superset for strength, focusing on overhead strength. We're going to do 4 rounds every 3 minutes. It's going to be 6 push press, followed by 5 to 10 strict handstand push-ups or handstand push-up variations, all right? So for the push press, we're going to come out in that good front rack position. Okay, we want to make sure that the bar is squarely on the shoulders with all of our fingers around the bar. So before you stand up, take a second. Always adjust the neck, get nice and deep. My arms are going to be about 45 degrees, okay? The bar is squarely on my shoulders. Take a step back, okay? Vertical dip and drive. I dip straight down, push the knees out, drive up overhead, okay? If it feels good, you can link these together, okay? But if it's heavy, you're going to bring it down, reset, okay? Think driving that weight up with the legs. You're going to feel that press at the top, good lockout, and back down, okay? You're going to do 6 reps. Rest your arms as needed. Then we're going to go to 5 to 10 strict handstand push-ups, okay? So this is tough because we're going from a dynamic movement back into a more of a basic strict movement. So my first setup here is a reduced range of motion. So if you're pretty close but the full range of motion is hard, especially if we're doing a set of at least 5 unbroken, you can start with a reduced range of motion. So you kick up. Remember, keep the chin tucked. You're going to touch the top of your head, drive back out, okay? Keep the elbows in and drive out. What we're looking for here is that good at the top in a nice straight line, but at the bottom, it's going to look like this. We want to avoid the elbows flaring out. So at the bottom, our hands and head should not be in a perfect straight line where the elbows flare out. You're trying to get strong in that position here. So ways that you can train that, the classic down dog is the most basic. So the chin is tucked, touch the top of my head, drive back out. So you should feel this forward back motion with your shoulder, right? You don't want to do this where you come straight down and up, where you end with the head out in front of the arms. The chin is always tucked and always finishes between the arms. Same thing if I put my feet up on a bench and hips nice and high, chin is tucked, my head comes forward, look at the bottom, push back at the top, all right? So again, that's hard. If you're not used to it, it's surprisingly hard to do properly. So start with that basic down dog position. If you think it's easy, do a set of 10, right? Try to do a set of 10 for all 4 rounds. With the push press, not easy, okay? Reinforce really good position, good range of motion as you go. Of course, if you don't want to do any of those things, we always have the seated dumbbell press, okay? So you can do a seated dumbbell for 5 to 10 reps, all right? So that's our strength portion today. Let's look at conditioning. All right, guys, we got a fun body weight workout for you. 2 parts here. We'll break it down. Starts off with 21-15-9 of kipping pull-ups and kipping handstand push-ups. Okay, so we just did strict handstand push-ups in the strength. I want to talk about kipping real quick. So this is, again, something that you should be moving through relatively quickly. So when you're thinking about a variation, something you can do, you know, at least like 10 reps unbroken is a good way of thinking about it, all right? So you can do with a band. Remember, for the band, if you use for kipping pull-ups, it goes on your foot, hands on either side. The band should be straight in the center of your body, and a little swing. Okay, we always tell people, try to avoid the feeling of wanting to pull first. Look what I'm doing first. I'm pressing down, so I'm trying to get my body nice and high before I pull. Okay? If you're new to this, the idea is at the top, your chin is over the bar, and then I push the bar away, so I swing down and up. So again, work on that swing. If you're new to the kip, get a good swing, try to feel how you get your body elevating before bending the elbow. Okay, that's the foundation of that movement. All right, so it's going to be kipping pull-ups is 1, all right? And then the kipping handstand push-up. So I'll review the sequence here. You need to be comfortable lowering your body from a handstand into a headstand. So you have to be able to kick up, okay? Keep the chin tucked. I come down, elbows in like we discussed in the first part. But here, my butt goes to the wall, bring the feet down, and then load the hip by bringing the feet off the wall. So when you're here, you know you're in a good position, you feel nice and balanced, you drive with the legs, and lock out. Lower down, butt to the wall, feet down, load the hip, big drive up, all right? So again, something you're comfortable doing, again, 5 to 10 reps, unbroken, really working on good range of motion. So of course we did the The strict, so a lot of those variations are the same thing. You can do any easy variation for this. Another good thing you can do is also a push press. So do some dumbbell push press in place of kipping handstand push-ups is another good scale. All right, again, something we can move through. It's going to be upper body failure is hard to manage. So something you're comfortable with, your arms will hit failure, and then you have to rest and chip away at it. Because we're going to go from there right into part 2 is 12-9-6 of bar muscle-ups and 50-foot handstand walk. So the way I want you to think about this, if you do not have bar muscle-ups, is the first part of the workout, you do an easy version of a pull-up, and the second part, you're doing something that's more challenging. So for some athletes, this might be doing chest-to-bar pull-ups instead of regular pull-ups, or it could be doing strict pull-ups, and in the first round, you do kipping, if that makes sense. So just choose a variation in the second part that's more challenging. Okay, so you can do strict, or you could do chest to bar are two good options for the bar muscle ups. There's also another great option, which is the jumping bar muscle up. I love this version. It's super fun. Gets you to feel that height of getting really high, transitioning your weight, so you can adjust the height of the box or the bar. Really jump and learn to press and transition. Okay, once you get over the bar, the dip is a lot easier, but jump, transition, and then lock out. As you get more comfortable with the jump and transition, then you can try to bring the swing in, which makes it a little bit more challenging on the timing. I come forward, back. Okay, that starts to get you used to the timing of the swing up and over. But I tell people just start with an easy jump and press, all right? When you start feeling good with that, the more advanced version or scale is the banded bar muscle up, okay? So when you do the banded, I always remind people this is a different type of swing. Start with one good rep at a time. You're going to do singles, okay? So you start behind the bar because you want to use a little bit of that swing. So watch, I start behind the bar, I jump, swing forward, be patient on that, swing over, okay? Just trying to do one good rep at a time, okay? So this is more advanced, but something that you can start building to. Go to Chelsea's gymnastics class if you want to work on this kind of stuff, and just practice, you'll get better, okay? So then we have the handstand walk, of course. So a bunch of stuff for handstand walks. So basic scale will be shoulder taps for today. So remember, find an angle you're comfortable with. We'll start with 20 to 30 shoulder taps back and forth. The more vertical I get, the closer to the wall, the harder that's going to be. Okay? Another option is just to do less range of motion. So if you're comfortable, but 50 feet is hard, you can do 25 feet of handstand walking. Just doing some attempts. And we can also practice kicking up to the wall. So doing, 5 or 6 short walks to the wall, getting comfortable with the kick up. Or a version I like to give is do double the distance or maybe not double, instead of 50, do 75 feet of a bear crawl, where you just try to get that feeling of walking on your hands, okay? So have fun with it. A lot of variations for the gymnastic stuff depending on your strength and comfort. So that's it for today. We got an 18-minute cap to get through all that. Have fun. We'll see you tomorrow.